It's Boxing Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined once again. We've got a new name for you now, Mystic Mac, Graham McCormack.
The
How are
Mystic
we?
Mac, huh? I predict these things, you know what I mean?
Like, I guess, people would probably maybe, Graham, would have looked at your record and seen you've won stoppage one, and I think your last stoppage, your only stoppage as a pro was in 2019, your last fight before you sort of had a bit of time out before your
Yeah,
second coming. Like when people probably would have seen the fight, and I know when he's done the initial press conference and stuff like that, you're saying I'm going to knock this guy out. People are going, all right, Graham, dead on. Like you've proved it. You've pressed in the pudding now. You've done exactly what you said you were going to do.
yeah. Look, I mean, like, I think I've said it loads of times since after the fight. My trainer Shaun had a brilliant game plan. Like, I'm a good boxer. I just don't use it all the time. I get mixed up in fights and stuff like that. But like when I stand back and actually box, I hurt people. Like I've stabbed a couple of sparring partners over the last 2 years, and I do have power in my punches. Just sometimes I've been fighting for the crowd and getting mixed up in messy fights and not standing back and using my actual boxing, you know what I mean? And I suppose I haven't been able to use my power and stuff like that because of it. But the other night the game plan was 100% on point. That was the plan we had, was to box and land the big punches, which I did from round one, you know what I mean? And I knew straight away when I was landing him, I was hurting him, and and I just kept doing what Shaun was telling me to do, you know?
It was like a vintage sort of performance from you. Like, we weren't expected. Obviously, we know sometimes you go to war and things like that. Like, we see you landing big left hands and dropping them and stuff like that. We're going, who is this guy? Like, obviously for me, watching a lot of your career and things like that, we're sort of going, and I know you did the Grady performance, stuff like that, but you weren't happy with, and obviously Dylan and the George Little fight. But like, that makes up for it. Obviously, your first win since March of last year, redemption as well. Like, obviously, that my opinion, obviously, in the first fight, I thought you'd won it and they didn't count a
Yeah,
knockdown. There was no way they
yeah.
weren't going to count the knockdown this time.
you know, like it was so hard to get back to that place mentally. And I think me and you know, I've said it a lot of times. My biggest battle is my head. I suffer from my mental health. I'm a recovering drug addict. I've ADHD, and my biggest battle is always upstairs. It's not fucking. It's not the training. I train harder than most fighters because I need to train for my head. It's my head, man. And the Grady fight, I wasn't there mentally. The George Lillard fight, I wasn't there mentally. And the performances obviously showed that. But the other night, I had again bring it back to Shaun. He gave me we had a chat at the start of the camp, and he said, "This is it, Graham. You have to bring out your best." And I just done exactly what I needed to do for the whole camp, not just on Saturday night. That was an accumulation of 10 weeks of hard work and working on myself mentally and making sure I got myself in the right position mentally so I could deliver that performance. I know how good I am. The other night showed how good I am. I am a good fighter. I'm a good boxer, and I'm better than most people have given me credit for because no one to blame but myself. When I'm on farm mentally, I can do that to anybody. I think I'm a good fighter. Anybody in the country, I'm domestically, I'm a very, very good level fighter. So look, it showed that Saturday night. I showed that. But the most important thing about Saturday night is I showed myself that. You know what I mean? That I was able to bring myself back to that guy who I know I can be, and give that performance on Saturday night. You know?
Like, it's been a long year for you as well. Like, obviously, people will not be aware, but obviously quite a lot of this year has been in camp. You know, like, they think it like, the fight you're supposed to have in Wales, and then it was transferred to Scotland, and then obviously ended up the fight didn't happen, and then up in George Lillard as well. Like, you spent a lot of 2024 in camp.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And training and in camp and not getting fights and then getting the Lillard fight, which was fucking a massive step too far. You know what I mean? You got to be realistic too, like it was. You know what I mean? But like at the time I got offered that fight, I just wanted the fight, man. You know what I mean? Because I had so many things going wrong. And, should I have taken the fight? Maybe not. But it is what it is. I learned a valuable lesson that night. You know what I mean? Got on a big stage, I learned a lesson, and I came back and got an unbelievable win on Saturday night. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot of lessons this year. It was a bit of a rough year up and down, but I ended the year on a massive high. The best win of my career by a long shot. Again, I'm giving credit to everyone, my team, my Shane Williams, all my friends, Craig, my nutritionist Liam Williams. But My wife, of course, but the credit has to go to Shaun. The game plan from the off point, I swear to God, I was sick to my fucking stomach of throwing the same shots on the pads over and over again. The 1-2 roll, catch uppercut roll. You know, I was fucking sick of it. But they're the shots that worked on Saturday night. That jab hook to the body, we worked on it non-stop. I actually said to him one day, Shaun, please, I'm sick of throwing the shot. He said, throw it again, throw it again. But that's what stopped him, you know what I mean? So drills, this was a camp of nothing but drills for 10 weeks. We trained a lot smarter. I had 2 spars in camp. I didn't kill myself with sparring. I'm 37 now. I have to train a bit smarter, you know what I mean? And there was no injuries this camp, you know what I mean? So it was fucking brilliant, obviously down to my physio, Craig Redden, but just down to us training smarter, you know what I mean? And eating the right food, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it was just an accumulation of everything falling into place for me on Saturday night, you know what I mean?
I was just going to touch, obviously, that was my next point, obviously, and I know you've obviously been the Celtic champion, beating obviously Dominic for the title in Belfast. Like I was going to say, where did that rank? Because like for you, I guess, it's like you factor a few things and you factor the age. There was a lot on the line, obviously, defeat for you on Saturday night was probably the end of your career, no bones about it. That was probably it. So like they put all that in the magnitude, when you say it's the best fight of your career, like, did you feel that pressure going in? They know that, obviously that you have to win, it was like, there was a lot on it. There was there was the war of words for the first fight and afterwards. There wasn't so much, obviously, the press cover this time. It was more Dylan and Tyrone that went at it. But did you feel that pressure going in Saturday night to go, I need to win?
I like, there's always pressure on a fighter, you know what I mean? For me, there was a bit more pressure on it, but I didn't acknowledge it because, like I said there a minute ago, if I acknowledge stuff like that, it gets all up in my head and my head starts playing games on me. So for me, the other night was just about being relaxed, going out. I know how good I can be. I know my trainer Shaun knows how good I can be. It's just about bringing that version out. And I knew to bring that version out, I had to remain calm, be relaxed, and to not get up in my head and put the pressure on me. But yeah, there was that pressure on me because I had to win the other night. But I also knew I was going to win. I knew for a fact I wasn't losing the other night. You know what I mean? I knew that if I brought out the best version of me, it's like if you go back to the last fight with Greg McCarthy, I fully believe I won that fight, but I wasn't the best version of me on that night, and I still believe I won. So I knew to myself, if I brought out the best version of me on Saturday night, I'd beat him, and I'd beat him well. I said I was going to stop him. I believed I was going to stop him, and I stopped him. You know what I mean? Am I a concussive puncher? No. I never said that I am. But I know that I do hit hard, and many sparring partners can tell you the same. But I know that I have to be 100% up here for me to perform the way I did the other night. Once I'm 100% up here, you'll always get the best version of me out. You know what I mean? It's just about me beating this battle up here before beating anything else. And the other night, I won the battle upstairs and I performed the best I think I've ever performed in my whole career on Saturday night.
Obviously on the fight, obviously coming into the 6th round, like when did the fight change from, because I think it was initially said as 8, when did the fight change from 8 rounds to 6 rounds? Like obviously they said, oh, it's the next last round coming up. You obviously knew at that stage it was the last round coming up and obviously to just go for it. But like, when did it change from 8 to 6?
We knew that week because Mel didn't sanction for 8 because we're both coming off losses. So we knew. It was just Pro Box didn't know, but I knew and Craig knew as well. We knew it was 600, like, so. I had hurt him in round 5 to the body. I caught him up, right up to the body, and I said to myself, I'm hurting here. And we had worked on that shot, that jab left hand to the body. And when I got up, Shaun said, walk the body now. So I just ran out and just threw the jab left hand to the body. I knew the second I landed it, I said, that hurt him. You know what I mean? So I was delighted that I finished the fight the way I finished it. But I just want to say as well, big respect to Craig McCarthy. You know what I mean? It's water under the bridge now, the beef that we had. He's a warrior and he fought with his heart. He got hurt in the second round, and that shot hurt him a lot in the second round. He fought on. He had a great third round. You know what I mean? And I respect him and fair play to him because he fought with all heart tonight. You know what I mean?
It's nice to hear that, Graham. Obviously, I know he's having a bit of beef sometimes, and sometimes it's built for fights and things. And there was probably genuine beef there, but he's settled the score. It's one each. He's had a lovely. He's a lovely hug and things afterwards, and I know, like, Tommy Hyde was saying to me previously that obviously Craig done a lot for him, obviously, after their fight and give him the belt because he had to wait for a belt and things. Like, Craig's a really nice guy. I guess it's just that the macho thing comes out in fights sometimes where you have to be, you have to play up sometimes to sell fights, but like it's good to see that the beef he's have has been squashed.
Yeah, he's a family man too, man. And I respect any man who looks after his family. You know what I mean? I respect him. I respect that. And like, look, I've shared a lot of rounds with him now. And the other night was a great fight. It was a good fight. You know what I mean? It was a good fight. We've been in two brilliant fights. You know what I mean? I got the better of the other night, and I respect him. And I said that after, and to his brother and everyone. The beef is over now, and I'm glad I'm able to put it to bed. And I wish him not but the best going forward and whatever he decides to do.
Obviously, for yourself, there was that obviously pressure, obviously on the fight. Like, what obviously next for you, Graham? Obviously,
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
like the reason I ask that is, me and you spoke privately, obviously quite a lot before, and it's like it's finding sort of the right time. Like, do you feel there is still a lot of life left in the sport? Like I know we laugh and joke and say you'll still be fighting at 50. Like, where do you sort of, do you have to sort of sit down with your team? Do you have to sit down with your missus and the kids and sort of go, what is next? Because, like, as you know yourself, if you get another one somewhere else, then this time next year, you're still going, we'll have another one. We'll have another one that's finding the right
Yeah.
sort of time to go.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest, Joe, and I'll say this, and no problem. I've had a chat with Ian, I've had a chat with Shaun, and I've had a chat with my wife, who's the most important one. My wife is the most important member of my team. She's my wife, my best friend. I love her, but also she's the one that has to deal with me at home. You know what I mean? And it's a tough job, Steve, being a professional boxer's wife, man. I'm training 3 times a day. I'm trying to work. My wife works. We have kids. It's a busy life, Steve. You know what I mean? It's a very busy life. So I'm so grateful to my wife, and I just want to say how grateful I am to her for everything that she does for me, because she just makes my life so much easier. So we sat down and had a chat. Obviously, I'd said to her previously, and to Ian and everyone, that I'm not going on forever. I'm 38 next year, but I was brilliant the other night. I feel like I deserve an Irish title. I don't know if I have to have one more. I don't know what story is, but I want an Irish title, Steve, before I retire. That's what I want. I always wanted an Irish title. I feel I'm good enough to win an Irish title. Now, it won't be a super middleweight. Everyone saw how chunky I was the other night. I'm not a super middleweight fighter, but I'm middleweight, or I'm even a light middleweight. I could make light middleweight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy the Christmas with my wife and kids. I'm going to get back into camp in January, and we're going to go after the Irish title, either a middleweight or a light middleweight. I don't want any small fights. I don't want any, and this is no respect to anyone calling me out 2-0, 3-0. I won't be acknowledging any of those kind of fights or anything like that. No disrespect to anyone, or any stupid fights. I want an Irish title. That's what I want. I never got my Irish title shot when I won the Kelly title. Mel was very happy with my performance the other night. I boxed very, very well. I reeled back the ears. That's the best version of me. I feel like I can get that. I can get up again like that for an Irish title. So now it's down to my management to try and get me that fight for an Irish title at middleweight or light middleweight. And that's what I want. And I will go out on that fight. You know what I mean? I want an Irish title. I feel like I deserve an Irish title. And I fully believe I'm good enough to win an Irish title. So that's what I want, Steve. And that's what I'm going to go after in 2025. I'm not going to fight forever, but 2025 will be. If my next fight is an Irish title, that's going to be my last fight. It's straight out. I'll be straight up honest. You know what I mean? That's the truth. But I want an Irish title fight.
I guess the problem you have at 154 is obviously you haven't fought at 154 in quite a while. I mean, I know what it can be like with weights, if you haven't fought close to the weight. Like, obviously,
so if I have to, then so be it. No, I had 5 fights at 154. I've never been beaten at 154. So, we see how chunky I was tonight. I can make 154. I have a great nutritionist, Liam Williams. I can make it. So, look, let's just see what it brings. Ian is a great manager. He's my friend. I know he's going to do the best for me to get me an Irish title fight. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that I want an Irish title, and I will be getting one a middleweight or a light middleweight. If I have to have a fight before that, then I'm sure we can sort something out, and we'll go from there. But
it's one of them, isn't it? It's like, like for what you've given to the sport, and like I shared obviously your post from 2 years ago, obviously in Belfast from the Fergus Pun fight. And, you were living that sort of dream, and like Graham, you regard it as probably one of the best success stories we've had in the sport. And I don't want to keep going back over obviously the old ground, but for what you've obviously achieved in life, like it'd be great for you to obviously get that Irish title fight, win or lose, to go out on. The reason I'd sort of asked what was next was sometimes it's nice to go out in that high. It's you got your redemption, everything else to get, but like for you to fight for an Irish title, that's probably beyond your wildest dreams of what you ever thought you would do as a pro?
That'll be the icing on the cake. Win, lose, or draw, be the icing on the cake. I fully believe I can win one, so I want to just go out on that. You know what I mean? I want to go to another title, and that'll be it for me, man. You know what I mean? And I appreciate your kind words, but it's been a great journey, man. It's been a great career. I've done more than anyone said I'd ever do, and an Irish title would just be the icing on the cake and a great way for me to bow to the sport. You know what I mean?
Just obviously looking obviously at the Irish middleweight rankings, like it's sort of there's not really sort of a lot there, so to speak. You know, there obviously is a few fighters there, but obviously they're different stages. Like you're not sort of really one that's really going to call anybody out. But like if it was a middleweight title, like it doesn't matter who it probably is for you.
I don't care, but I genuinely, I'm not going to call anybody out. I respect all of them. Middleweight, light middleweight, whoever. I just want to fight for our title, and that's no respect to any fighter. You know what I mean? I'm not taking any backward steps. I'm not going down fighting 3-0s and 4-0s, 2-0s. I've no interest in that kind of stuff, but I just have no interest in it. I just want an Irish title fight, win an Irish title, and then you know, hang up my gloves and end a brilliant career. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't even care if the fight was in your back garden.
I don't give a man. I'd fight someone's kitchen. I don't give a shit. I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? I've proven, I think, time and time again that I'm one of those fighters that'll just fight, bro. You know what I mean? And a lot of ours first like, and I respect that. You know what I mean? So look, I know that it probably won't happen overnight, but I know Ian will get the fight and we'll be good to go on 2025. I fully believe I'll get my title fight, and I fully believe I'll win one, and that'll be a great end to a great career, man.
Last question, because obviously I know we're both waiting for obviously Conor Wallace's fight here. For obviously Dylan, like obviously the last year and a half's been tough for him. Obviously watching you not win, and obviously his opinion, because he's getting big into the box now as well. Like, what was Dylan's opinion obviously after Saturday night? Was he like, Daddy, we're back?
He was fucking buzzing, man. He was delighted. I don't know if you've seen afterwards. He was jumping on the ring, shadowboxing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're close to me, man. We're good friends. Like, my journey has always been about his. You know what I mean? And his journey, and watching him become a boxer, and watching him having a few exhibitions the last couple of weeks and training and boxing. But winning like that the other night, I can't explain how good it was for him. I could see it in him, you know what I mean? And he was fucking buzzing. He was delighted, you know what I mean? My daughters were there the other night as well, my two small daughters. I brought them to the fight, you know what I mean? They wanted to come and see, so they were there as well, you know what I mean? But for Dylan, man, he was in the back the whole night. He was in the back with me, but I had said to him that week, I said, son, I'm going to win and I'm going to stop him. He said, Dad, I fully believe you're going to win. You know what I mean? So I knew what was coming on Saturday night, man, and I think he did as well. He's still buzzing out, man. He's still buzzing out about it. You know what I mean? Thought about it last night, and you know, it's a great buzz, man. You know, even being home in Limerick, like I've been stopped by absolutely everybody, man. Everybody has stopped me everywhere I go. It's nice, man, because I feel great again. You know, the win like that is after really propelling me back to where I was before this last year, I suppose. You know what I mean? And now it's just about getting this one last fight, getting this Irish title, and sailing off into the sunset, man. You know what I mean? But like, what a win the other night for me and my team. Give all my team a shout, for my town, for all the people that believed in me, and all my sponsors and everyone that paid money to come up and see me. You know, what a win for everybody. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to put on that performance for everybody. And thanks to everybody that came up and supported me, you know.
You're an icon, you're a legend, obviously not only in Limerick, but obviously in every town and village in Ireland, because, you know, as we keep saying, of what you've been through in your career and everything else, like, it's great to have them big nights. Like, we've had these last couple of years where over 30s have a big performances. You've obviously Paddy obviously won in the IBO, Dennis Hogan won in the IBO, Ando Kakachi won an IBO, and then the IBF world title. Yeah. Katie Taylor's still doing it late in their 30s as well. Like, there's life still in these old dogs.
Look, you know what, Steve? This camp, me and Shaun sat down, I just had to train a lot smarter, but I just had to cut a couple of things out and change things up so I didn't get any injuries. I am 37. I do get injured a lot more. I didn't spar that much. I great spar with Lee Reeves, 2 spars, and I just trained a lot smarter. I won't keep you too long. And my next camp will be the same. It's just about training that bit smarter, man, now that I'm older, not getting injured.
Well, look, obviously, we'll leave it there. Obviously, we're just getting our ring walks. Obviously, Connor's just about to walk out. Obviously, this is going to be your last Christmas as a pro as well. So, obviously, get out and enjoy it. Get the selection boxes, get the turkey, get the ham, get everything on the plate.
Get on it.
Look, obviously enjoy your Christmas. We'll obviously keep our fingers, toes, ears, eyes, nose. We'll keep it all crossed that obviously Ian Gaughran can work his magic and get you an Irish title fight to bow out on.
Yeah, hopefully. I've no doubt he will. I've no doubt he will.
But look, I'll catch up with you soon, Graham. Obviously,
Thanks,
congratulations.
bud.
And come on,
Thank you,
Ken
bud.
Egg.
See you later, bud.
Cheers, Graham. Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.